What's up, you guys? I made a video on my YouTube earlier talking about a book that I was pretty excited about coming in, and it arrived yesterday, and I've already read a bunch of stories from it, and it's a pretty sad book, but I knew it would have some deep information and some deep stories in it straight from the get-go when I kind of saw it on eBay. So this book is titled Mississippi Black Papers, and it's 57 Negro and white citizens' testimonies of police brutality and the breakdown of law and order and the corruption of justice in Mississippi. Now, if you ever hear somebody say that the United States police force wasn't crafted out of racism or doesn't have deep-seated racism in it till this day, that is not a goal. It's not a goal of theirs to berate, to harass, to belittle the Negro. It's not their job. I think they've been set up by the U.S. government. And the U.S. government, we know who they're set up by, and we know who their orders were given by to terrorize the Negro. But we're not going to get into that. Let's just read one of the stories. I'm going to try to read one a day to you guys to get your ancestors' stories out, to get these crimes and punishments out. Maybe any of you that do great investigation work can do some investigation on the actual police headquarters and the police officers that were involved with this, because they blot out the names. They don't put the names of the officers that did these crimes to these Negroes. So let's go to page 30. While walking north on 4th Street at this point, I was arrested by two members of the Clarksdale Police Department. The Clarksdale, Mississippi Police Department is hell. They are the most racist, demonic group of white people you will ever meet. They are truly the definitions of white devils once you read just a few of these stories of what happened continuously in Clarksville. The Clarksdale Police Department. The arresting officers were officers A and B. They know the officer's name, they just left him out. Typical, right? I was charged with parading without a permit of the wording on the back of my shirt. So the back of his shirt had some words on it that the police officers did not like. I was carried to the Clarksdale City Jail. After I was carried to the city jail, I was booked by Officer A. While he was booking me, he began to kick me between my legs and he slapped me several times. I did not attempt to fight back. I took his blows and said nothing. Officer A gave Officer B a blackjack and told me if I looked hard, for Officer B to beat the hell out of me across my head. He then carried me to the cell. He tried to slam the door on me, but I moved fast and the door missed me. I was booked for parading without a permit, vagrancy, being without a job, and resisting arrest. The resisting arrest charge grew out of my answering Officer A no when he insisted upon me saying no, sir. He said, "Son of a bitch, can't say sir." He then began to hit and kick me and told me I had a resisted arrest, all because this young black man did not say no sir to this officer. He got the shit beat out of him in his jail cell by two officers. My bond was set at $400. I remained in jail until Monday, September 2nd, 1963. I was fined $16 for not having a job, vagrancy, and have not been tried on the charge for which I was arrested yet. I am asking the NCAAP and the Department of Justice to investigate this violation of my civil rights. We have a lot more stories that are like this and even worse. Let's go hear a story that his sister tells us about what happened to her and a group of around 20 other women who were protesting, and how they were shoved in a jail cell that was only meant for about 6 to 8 people. And the police officers purposely cranked up the heat in the building, and multiple women passed out from heat strokes, and other horrible things were said to them and done to them while they were in this jail cell. Coahoma County. On July 30th, 1963, at approximately 3 p.m., I was in the presence of 9 other adult Negro citizens arrested by the unidentified police officer, and a few minutes later, rearrested by Clarksdale Police Officer A. At the time of our arrest, we were wearing anti-segregation signs. Now, here's something interesting. Some of these people were pro-segregation, some of them were anti-segregation. Why do you think that is? Do you think that all Negroes wanted to be part of white people's society? Do you think that all Negroes were okay with having their stores burned down just so that they can go use the Caucasian stores and filter their money through their systems? No, a lot of people were anti-segregation, especially black people. They did not want to be anywhere near Caucasians. At the time of our arrest, we were wearing anti-segregation signs and orderly moving down Sharkley Avenue towards the Clarksdale City Hall, again, back in Clarksville. The identified police officer who first placed us under arrest did not ask us if we had a permit to parade, nor did he inform us as to what we were being charged with. Sounds like your typical police officer, doesn't it? Typical tyrant. In our second encounter, police officer A, we were asked if we had a permit to parade. We told the officer we did not have a permit and that the request for a permit had been denied. We were taken to the Clarksdale City Jail and charged with parading without a permit. Between 20 and 25 female demonstrators were placed in a 9x9 cell, which I feel would normally house 6 or 8 persons. We were not given any food on this date of our arrest. The following day, July 31st, 1963, we were served breakfast, 1 spoonful of cold grits with no salt and 1 slice of cold bread. A group of young female demonstrators were taken out of the cell, leaving approximately 8 of us in the cell. Prior to removing the young demonstrators from the cell, we had suffered severe discomfort due to the overcrowded conditions and excessive heat. On the night of July 31st, the conditions became worse as the heat was turned on. My hair was as if it had been washed, and sweat rolled down my face like rain. Different police officers would come by at different times and call us ugly names like nigger, bitch, cow. Police officers were also violating our privacy by peeping in the cell saying, "Man, if we can get in there, nigger woman have some good." On August 1st, 1963, we were tried and convicted of parading without a permit and sentenced to 30 days in jail plus a $101 fine. Even though I was not in the court at the time of the trial, I understood that a plea for nolo contendere was entered for me by my attorney, Reverend Jess Brown of Jacksonville, Mississippi. Jesse Brown? I had understood the plea to be a legal position of our group prior to my participation in the peaceful protest. On the evening of August 1st, 1963, I requested a couple aspirins because I was feeling very ill because of the excessive heat and poor food. I was told by the police officers, if niggers were not so hot-headed, they would not be in here. I was finally given the aspirins. On August 2nd, 1963, at approximately 10 in the morning, Officer A came to our cell and asked us if we thought this was a hotel that we had to work. We were made to work in the heat of the day, cutting grass with sing blades and hoes in the oil mill area of town. Forced labor? We were ordered to work under the threat that if we did not work, we would be taken back to the cell and the heat would be turned on again. So they were pretty much threatening them, if you did not do what we say, we're going to go torture you again, and there's nothing you can do about it. I became very ill because of the excessive heat and poor food. I was taken back to the city jail and treated by the doctor, despite the fact that I had asked to be treated by my own doctor. I understood there were rumors that I had suffered a heat stroke. On August 3rd, 1963, at approximately 5:30 in the evening, I was released from the city jail by posting a $400 bond. I was immediately taken to the Sarah Brown Memorial Hospital at Mound Bayou, Mississippi. Interesting, Mound Bayou. The mound builders, Mound Bayou. If you don't know, Mississippi and those areas down in the southeast area of the United States are rich with historical artifacts, biblical artifacts. They're all been hidden by you-know-who. She remained in the hospital for a week. I am asking the NCAAP and its legal staff to represent me in filing whatever legal action that may be necessary to punish those who have violated my rights while I was a prisoner in Clarksdale City Jail. I am also requesting the U.S. Department of Justice to take actions necessary to secure and protect my rights as an American citizen. Original American citizen. Not African American, original American citizen. Mississippi Black Papers. Get this book. Maybe if you guys message me, I can send you another copy, because I don't know how, I don't know why, but eBay sent me a message saying, congrats, you won another copy of this book for free. So they already sent me another copy of this book for free. All I had to do is pay the shipping, which is $5. I suggest you get this book. Like I said, I'm going to try to read some stories from this, maybe once a day, maybe every other day. I suggest you get the book Without Sanctuary. That's another deep book that tells your ancestor stories. It's all about bringing our ancestor stories out. And it's time to, we're no longer in the days where we have to suffer. It's time to bring out the truth. It's time to expose what really happened and who these people are and what they did. and don't even let them try to call you racist for trying to bring up their history.